Welcome back to Right on the Money, providing you and your family the necessary information you need to make informed financial decisions. Now, again, in case you're just joining us, our guest today, Pat Ginefra, founder of MyLifeBroker.com, located in beautiful Newark, Delaware. I assume it's beautiful. I've never been there.
It is. It's a college town.
What college is there?
The University of Delaware.
University of Delaware.
Which my wife and both sons attended.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now, we've been talking about your practice. Mm-hmm. We've been talking about the education course you provide, which is Simplify Your Retirement. And one of the things that I find fascinating, we talked about it a little bit off camera, and I want you to share it with everybody, is something that you call the three-bucket approach. Tell us about that.
Well, the three-bucket approach, by design, it's set up to be simple, right? Mm-hmm. Because we believe, and I personally believe, that unless it's simple, it's not going to be sustainable. So this is a plan that you're going to live with for a long time, right? So you have to make it simple, yep. And it's something that you really have to understand. So the concept is that you don't have to do the same thing with all of your money, right?
Right.
So it's what we call a mission-based way of investing your money. So in other words, each portion of your money has to do different things. For example, mm-hmm. in a three-bucket type approach, which we utilize, you've got a liquid bucket, which is essentially like your emergency fund and short-term expenses.
Okay.
Think of it as the money you're going to spend, right?
Right.
So that money needs to be available. As a result, you don't have a real high rate of return. Money might actually be in a money market or in the checking account.
So you're trading off access for opportunity there.
For liquidity.
You've got to have it.
Yeah, okay. Because if you've got short-term expenses, if I'm putting a roof on or need a new car, I need that money available to me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to need some emergency fund. That's where a good plan starts, where you have some fallback. Secondly, there's going to be that bucket where you need what we call income, right? And that's going to replace your paycheck, essentially. It's going to include the expenses that you need month in and month out.
Sure.
There's got to be some room for maybe some inflation, so your income doesn't go flat, as happens to a lot of retirees. And it's basically got to last you for as long as you're going to be here, because that's everyone's biggest fear, right? Is that the money's going to run out prior, to them dying.
The double-edged sword of living a really long life.
Yeah, when I was first in the business, everyone would fear death. That was their biggest fear, if I asked the client, right? But today it's running out of money before you die.
Sure.
Right, and that's everyone's biggest fear. So in that income bucket, we're more concerned with, let's say, a rate of withdrawal. How long can we withdraw that money? And the withdrawal rate is going to directly impact how much you need to put in that given bucket, right? Mm-hmm. So that's got a different mission, if you will, than the third bucket, which is your growth bucket. Mm-hmm. Right? So
mm-hmm.
you need another. So let's say in the income bucket, my goal would be to make somewhere between 4 and 6%.
Right.
Assuming a reasonable withdrawal rate for life would be somewhere between 4 and 5, right?
Yeah, right.
So if I can make 4 to 6% in that income bucket, I can essentially replenish a lot of the money that I'm withdrawing, okay? Although that's not the purpose of that, it's really to provide income.
Sure.
The growth bucket has a much higher target, because that's money that we're going to invest that with a longer time horizon now, because we've liberated that money from the income requirement, right? So a lot of people that are growing their money, it's bogged down, let's say, in target funds or more conservative portfolios, bond allocations, because retirement is either here or on the horizon.
Right.
So they no longer have that long-term time horizon that they need to be successful. So we like to say it's time in the market that makes you successful. If you're trying to get income, then you're timing the market, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what makes everyone a successful investor is when they have 7, 10, 15 years in the market, then you can override the volatility and you can actually get average returns.
There we go.
So that's where that growth bucket is really optimized. And now you can have a higher target. You can look to make 8 to 12%, and you can basically design it around your risk tolerance.
Now, I have to say, so that was very easy to understand. So I see the simplify, but it can't be, this is not a do-it-yourself thing. This sounds like, even though I understand exactly what you said and it's easy in my mind,
sure,
I'm going to need help here, aren't I?
Well, you probably will. When, a good advisor, again, is going to look at what I call the toolbox, right? Mm-hmm. Products aside, okay, these are really tools to help you accomplish the goals in those areas. So what you need us for is to show you what are the best breed accounts, the best of breed accounts, let's say, to use, whether it's income or for growth,
Right, because it'll be different. What's making up what my money's doing in those buckets is different, so it needs probably different vehicles.
Exactly. It's going to need, you're going to need different tools. If I'm cutting a tree down, right, I'm going to use a saw. So I'd look kind of foolish with a hammer, right? Going to cut that branch
It
down.
might take a while. Yeah.
So, it's kind of common sense in that regard. But that's what you need a good advisor for, to find out, okay, what tools are going to accomplish what I need in this given bucket. I mean, there's no perfect account out there, right? So
Absolutely.
if there was, everybody would be in it. I know you'd have all your money in it, right?
In that one. If it existed, I would. But so
there's give and take with everything, because you got your own retirement DNA, and I have mine, and each one of my clients has their own.
Everybody's story is different.
Sure, and their risk tolerance, right?
So when someone works with you, you're there, you and your firm, you're there to really help determine what goes, because you just said everybody's different, so what goes in each bucket has got to be...
It all starts with their goals. The first thing that we're going to want to really establish with our clients is to understand their vision of retirement and where they want to go. Everyone's going to have different goals, so we need to really understand you in order to accommodate you. And we're a family business, so we tend to treat our clients like family. We tend to get to know them rather well, because we're not this huge impersonal type of company.
Family business, you work with your son, correct?
I do. I work with my oldest son, Marco, is in my business. He actually heads up our RIA division and our wealth management.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
So
here's what we're going to do, though. I am so curious to talk more about mylifebroker.com, your practice,
Sure.
and share that. So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back on the other side. We're going to learn more about Pat, his practice, how to work with your practice, mylifebroker.com. And then we've got a great free guide that you have on your website that I want to share. We're going to talk about that. So join us on the other side.